Well, not the kind of performance I was expecting from the Bulls, not against one of the worst teams in the league, a team that was in their second game of a back-to-back after playing in Boston last night, a team that was down 7 players, arguably their best player being out in Cole Anthony. I really thought this would be a huge blowout for the Bulls, especially since the Bulls had their biggest win by margin of victory against the Magic when they played in Orlando. But you know what? A win is a win. And it's the 8th straight win for the Bulls, their first 8-game winning streak since 2012, back when Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah were running things. Man, those were some good times. That was before Rose had that devastating injury in which he tore his ACL. So anyway, kind of an ugly game for the Bulls, but they get the win and improve to 25-10 on the season and remain first in the East. So let's talk about it. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Now, this is one of those games where you know that it's a bit of a trap in the sense that the Bulls are riding high from a 7-game winning streak, and they did so winning their last 2 games at the buzzer. And they come back home to face a Magic team that is obviously rebuilding, they're depleted, and when that happens, it's easy to start playing down to your competition. We saw that early in the season when the Bulls allowed the Rockets to snap their 15-game losing streak and arguably the Bulls' worst loss of the season. They got complacent and did not take the Rockets seriously and let the younger team hungry for a win get the best of them. Well, that almost happened tonight. Right off the bat, the Magic came out firing. The Bulls didn't have the energy that we're used to seeing, and more importantly, they just simply could not hit their shots. Like, I believe the Bulls started off the game going 0 for 5 or 0 for 6. The Magic took a quick 8-0 lead, and even when the Bulls started finding a bit of momentum, the Magic kept clawing their way back. The Bulls finally started playing a little more like themselves in the second quarter. Really, that second unit off the bench was a nice spark for them, and I'll talk about the bench in a little bit. But the Bulls outscoring the Magic 30-19 in the second is what allowed them to head into the locker room with a 5-point lead. Now, for me, I thought the Bulls were going to be coming out in that second half and completely blowing these guys out of the water and win by 20+ points. Because we have seen the Bulls do that, where they go on a tear in the second half, particularly the fourth quarter, and just run away with the game. And they had a good little jump start to kick off both the third and fourth quarter, but somehow they allowed the Magic to keep hanging around with them. Now, give the Magic credit. This is a team that had no business in keeping this game competitive with how many players they had out and also the young talent level they have versus the talent level that the Bulls have. Give credit to the Bulls and their 2 trade pieces that they used to get Vucevic. Wendell Carter Jr. had a great game, putting up 21 and 10, and then Franz Wagner, who the Magic used to pick up with the Bulls lottery pick in that trade. Both of those guys had solid games in carrying the offensive load for the team. And for a team that doesn't play the best defense, the Magic held their own tonight. Granted, it also helped that the Bulls were straight missing shots that they usually make, but still, I was impressed with the fire and energy that the Magic played with tonight. They really wanted to get a win on the road against the best team in the East. And even when the Bulls had the opportunity to slowly close out the game, the Bulls were kind of handing them some opportunities to try to steal a win, like when Lavine turned the ball over near midcourt and didn't hustle back on the play and just kind of stood around and watched, or when Lonzo Ball fouled Wagner shooting a 3, which was a bit of a ticky-tack foul. The refs were straight awful this game, by the way, but it's like the Bulls were handing the Magic all these opportunities to come back and win. Until, of course, DeRozan got the flagrant foul, which I believe was on Hampton, and with 12 seconds to go, 2 free throws in the ball, you knew that that was going to be the end of the game. But anyway, overall, not the best game for the Bulls, especially after getting Lonzo and McKinney back. Granted, we did learn the unfortunate news that Javonte Green will likely be out for 2 to 4 weeks, which is a pretty big blow for the Bulls. Green, who really isn't a 4 anyway with his size, he was one of the few 4s that the Bulls had left, but Derrick Jones Jr. was a solid piece tonight, stepping in for him. Lavine and DeRozan had good games. I wouldn't say they were great games or stellar performances by any means, especially when Lavine was -10 on the night, which was a team low. But Lavine and DeRozan, although they struggled majorly to start the game, they got it together and played as you would expect them to do. DeRozan scoring 29 points on 11 for 24 shooting, although he missed 5 free throws tonight, pretty uncharacteristic of DeRozan. Zach scored 27 points shooting 8 for 19, 4 for 9 from 3. Which I was actually surprised to see was that Zach was getting a little more aggressive and drawing contact. He was also perfect from the line tonight, going 7 for 7. Vucevic, not the best game for him offensively. He only scored 13 points on 5 for 13 shooting, but he continues to crash the glass, snagging another 17 rebounds. And he was also getting it done defensively tonight in the paint, tallying 2 steals and 2 blocks. Lonzo Ball, Yeah, a little rusty in his first game back after being into protocols. You didn't really see that from guys like Lavine and DeRozan, who simply just did not miss a beat after coming back from the health and safety protocol. Lonzo was still getting it done in terms of playmaking, especially in transition, as well as his defense. He finished the game with 3 steals, 7 assists, and 7 rebounds, but only 3 points tonight, shooting 1 for 8 and 1 for 7 from 3. That'll hurt his 3-point percentage, which he currently leads the team in. I would expect it would take Lonzo a couple days to likely get reacclimated into the lineup. Not really worried about it at all. But it was okay though, because Coby White yet again stepped up in a big way, this time coming off the bench. He actually played more minutes than Lonzo did tonight. Coby shot 7 for 11, scoring 17 points. Like, this is what we need to see from Coby. This is what we want to see, having him be that scoring threat off the bench in a unit that is otherwise not the best on offense. A lot of good defenders on the bench, but Coby is really your main scorer. And as long as he can do this consistently, which he's been doing for the past 4 games, that gives the Bulls that added edge needed to win games, even if guys in the starting lineup aren't having the best night. Now, I don't want to hear any noise from the Coby lovers, or whoever for that matter, that, well, this means the Bulls were clearly better with Coby and without Lonzo, and look what happened when Lonzo returned. We almost lost to one of the worst teams in the league. Like, no. Look, I'm happy for Coby. As a fan, I mean, the guy plays for my team. I want to see him do well. I want to see him play like we have been able to see and have him do it consistently. But saying that the Bulls are better without Lonzo because of how he did one game coming back after being out, and I'm not saying a lot of people are making this claim, by the way. In fact, it's very, very few. I saw a couple of nutcases on Twitter talking about this, and to be honest, they were probably doing it for a reaction, and well, you got one. But no, Lonzo is a huge piece for this Bulls team and what he brings to managing the offense and playing elite perimeter defense. One game does not completely change that whole narrative of now Coby being the better option for the Bulls as it relates to their point guard role. Now, I would have liked to have seen a little more Alfonso McKinney tonight, especially given that we learned that Green is going to be out, so we could have really used his size a bit against guys like Wendell, Wagner, Mo Bamba. He only played 7 minutes tonight, and I suspect they're trying to get his conditioning back up after being out due to the health and safety protocol. But like, if you're going to waive Alizé in favor of McKinney to give you some size, give him some more run, especially when you're using a makeshift starting power forward in Javonte Green, who you know is going to be out for the next few weeks. Anyway, though, overall, an ugly game for the Bulls, but as I said before, hey, it's a win. The Bulls keep on winning, and the Bulls are actually off now until Friday for a much-needed break after playing an insane amount of games over the past week. The rest will definitely be needed, and hopefully we'll get to see Caruso make his return by that game on Friday. I'll keep the videos coming this week, though, guys. Do not worry. And as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.